This episode of GuildCast is brought to you by Netflix. For a free 30-day trial, head on over to netflix.com/GamebreakerTV.
Gamebreaker TV.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to GuildCast, episode 60 for February 6, 2013. You're watching Gamebreaker. I'm Gary again. And today, Mr. Colin Johanson talks about WvWs. WvWs. NCSoft is riding the Guild Wars train, and Rangers get the shaft. All that and more. Plus your viewer questions. But first, from Zam.com, Mr. Scott Hawks, how are you, sir?
Oh, good. How are you?
Fantastic. Why do you always look psychotic when we first come on the show?
It's mainly.
Okay.
It's mainly because I'm waking up.
Oh.
It's
got one of those
mainly
sleep
shock
schedules.
that the world's going on.
A sleep schedule like a true gamer.
Yeah, I've had 20 minutes at least.
And from massively.com, it's Elizabeth Clare. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. Why are you looking at me? Why are you?
She can see all of your head. It's
It's
confusing.
true. I'm really put off by the whole like your ears. You have ears. I didn't know you had ears.
See? Yeah, there's proof.
There's two of them.
Two ears. Wow.
That's just showing off now.
Seriously, I don't even know how to handle this. What?
And Mr. Richard Procopio, how are you, sir?
Hello. I will try not to give any kind of emotion.
Zero emotion on the show. All right, first up, before we jump into anything, some news just dropped right before, I guess. When did this drop? Just a couple hours ago on the old Guild Wars 2 blog. So we got some brand new information here. So let's check it out. So Flame and Frost, The Gathering Storm, is now slated for February 26, 2012. Mark your calendars. It is coming. It now has a date. It is real. Some new features here. They got a brand new PvP map called Spirit Watch.
Click on it. Click on the picture. Click on it.
It's so pretty.
Click, click, click.
It's so pretty.
What do we know about it? Is it
like?
What do we know so far about Spirit Watch as far as how's the match going to play out? What are the mechanics? Anything?
Players will score points by capturing the Orb of Ascension and running to any of the 3 shrines on the newest PvP map.
So we've got a brand new PvP map for you. Team.
So it's kind of like Murder Ball with control points. It sounds like.
Hey, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the damn Hut Ball. It was a damn good.
Hut Ball was the best.
I love Hut Ball.
That was a damn good PvP match.
Hut Ball's awesome.
Looking at that picture, I don't see any flame pits though. So
yeah, that is a shame. Maybe they're hidden.
They might be there. You never know, bro. There is like an owl though, or is that an eagle? Or is that a hawk? I can't tell. That was an owl. I'm a fan of owls.
That's a terrible dog waiting to happen.
It looks like a raven, maybe.
Maybe a raven. So you got a new preview map, a team up for guild missions, Mr. Scott Hawks. Team up for guild missions.
We like that.
Says join your fellow guild members to take on an entirely new category of content. These missions designed for coordinated group play include everything from bounties to group puzzles to cross-country challenges. Oh, that would be my audio on another machine. Hang on. Mute. Okay. You'll need to work together to complete the missions and earn new guild
merits.
Sorry, I'm turning 80. My eyes are kind of going. Which can unlock cool upgrades and rewards it pays to be in a guild. Scott, your prayers are answered.
Yes, they are a bit. And from the sounds of it, like bounties. So are you going to have... Is this one of the things about that you spawn things? So you take a bounty and it's going to spawn a certain mob that you've got to go and find and kill, perhaps, that is only going to spawn if you take the bounty? I don't know. maybe.
Mm.
It's actually an interesting idea. If you actually go to a specific zone with your guild, and you take the bounty, and then that mob spawns somewhere in the zone, and you have like 5 or 10 minutes to find it with your guild or something like that. You have to spread out and go all over the place. It'd be kind of interesting, something mechanic like that.
So if it's not that, then ArenaNet, I thought of it, and I want.
Take credit for it. Put a patent on that really quick. You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for the videos of guild jumping puzzles. That's going to be something.
Man, can you imagine if you have to get like so many people to the next stage? Oh, it'll just be terrible for my guild.
Swearing will be amazing for that.
Don't want to be on vent for that.
You can't even jump off the first bit.
I think we might even have to put a new section into GuildCast every week, like the weekly guild jumping puzzle audio or something.
Guild fail of the week.
Guild fail of the week.
Yeah. That's reminding me of that little section of that fractal where you have to get like 3 people up trap. They have the lightning that hits you, and you have to get 3 people up there, and it's always like, Mother Fletcher!
Mother Fletcher. What's this all about? 2-team rated play in PvP. I didn't even get a chance to read this. I'm reading this for the first time. It's time to prove your skill in this new type of competitive PvP. 2 teams of equal average rating are pitted against each other in a quick, intense match. The ratings for every member of each team is then adjusted after the match.
This is what Colin spoke of about the other week when they're talking about making sure you can get in game and you're not going to get ruffle stomped straight away. So you'll be able to play, earn your rating, and you'll be able to play people who are at your level rather than people who are dynamic PvP demigods. Who will do things
PvP rankings, ratings, basically for matchmaking. Basically matchmaking. Have they released any sort of information about what kind of structure they're utilizing for that? Like, is it like a one to certain level? Like, are there brackets? Is it dynamic scaling? Like, how does that? Do we know how that's going to work?
Don't know. Maybe they'll use WvW style, that kind of equation for it.
Scott, it's called.
I don't know. Sorry. WvDubs. At least let's say WvW.
No. We'll get to that in a little bit. Last one on the series is
we don't have the rating system yet.
Choose your own daily achievements. For those of you who hate dailies, with our new selectable achievement system, you'll have a chance to set new daily challenges for yourself and to choose what kind of content you want to be rewarded for playing. If this works, this is genius, but it's very vague. This is extremely vague.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they talked about it. Go for it.
You're going to have to choose some of them to do your monthly, though. Like, you can't just do your favorite ones all the time. Because if you do, like, visit the Laurel vendor, gathering, crafting, fall over in a ditch, I don't know, the really easy ones, then you're not going to do the completionist part of the monthly. So you've got to, at some point, do the others. But it'd be nice if you can avoid some of the ones that perhaps for you find a little more annoying, especially on days where, say, you haven't got much time, you want to crack through it in like half an hour, 45 minutes. So you can choose perhaps ones that aren't as taxing, which would be nice.
Yeah, so when they talked about it earlier, they said, maybe you'll have like 6 achievements presented and you pick which 4 you want to complete, which means you can't be like, oh, I want an achievement for, logging into a different character. You're presented with options, whether it's gathering, crafting, healing, whatever, which means that people who say hate dodging for some reason or just don't understand it don't have to do that. Or if you're on a really lowbie character and you don't think you're going to see any veterans, you say, okay, well, I want to do everything but the veteran hunter thingy. So it's still going to be structured. You just will have more options as far as like, oh, I don't really feel like gathering right now, so I'm not going to gather today. Ha ha. So yeah.
I want to fall in a ditch.
I really want to fall in ditches.
Yeah. Tonight.
Ditch falling. I can be quite tricky though.
Let's do it.
Good at that.
Blow this
Sometimes
show off and let's go to the bar. Let's all fall in a ditch.
Fall in a ditch. But I think the best way to do it is dodge rolling, and some people get upset by that and get confused by it. So even falling in a ditch could be a problem for some.
Oh, people.
I think this will curb some of the other games out there who have dailies though, and kind of get a little backslap. Because some people really love dailies. Some people just like the repetition of doing kind of the same thing. There's a lot of people out there that don't like them. So I kind of like the fact that they're at least giving some of the option a little bit in the hands of the player here and say, hey, what do you enjoy doing? We don't want to just stick these things down your throat, because I think it's usually why dailies kind of suck, is because usually you're just forced into doing a few things that you just absolutely hate.
But also the reason that dailies suck in other games, specifically one, is when you're having to do dailies quests in one area and keep going back to that area and do those same things over and over. These dailies are things where if you can't dodge while doing what you would normally be doing anyway, you need to like just uninstall the game and go do something else or something. Not wanting to sound harsh.
You're bad and you should feel
that's how it
bad.
comes out. So, but yeah, I mean, like, there's not very much in there out the dailies that you can't just do as part of your normal gameplay anyway. The reason dailies are a real problem in other games is because, all right, I've now got to travel over to that bit of the map and do those 3 quests repeatedly for the next 2 months until I get the reputation or the tokens or whatever to get that. With this, if you're doing the dailies, it's just what you would pretty much normally be doing anyway.
Am I a bad person that I absolutely don't do? I do 0 dailies. I don't ever. I just don't. I don't even care. Like, I'm just don't care.
I don't think anyone does dailies because they just love doing dailies. Like, you do it because you care about one or more of the rewards. Like, it helps in Guild Wars 2 that most days, whatever the daily is something I'm already doing. Like, oh, I have to revive 10 people? Well, great, I'm facing the Claw of Jormag. I'm going to revive like 20 people.
I don't even look at the rewards. I don't even look at the rewards because I don't want to be tempted. I don't even want to know. Like, I'm like, talk to the hand.
Well, that's just silly.
I don't even want to know what they are because I'm not going to do them. I just refuse to do them.
What if they're things you're already doing?
Maybe I'm missing out.
That's the thing. I mean,
maybe
these
I'm
guys
totally
are saying
missing out.
These guys are saying it, but a lot of the time, even if you don't even mean to do the dailies, you just have a play session and you probably can look at it and you're probably 85% complete. And it just takes 10 more minutes to finish it off. And I think I think the big difference is whether you're not, at least for me, whether or not I hate dailies, is if I'm required to do them in order to see some content or to get some gear that is powerful enough so I can see content. And in Guild Wars 2, I don't feel that pressure. I'm doing the dailies because I want to and I'm interested in some of the rewards, but I don't feel like I need to do them at all.
Is there a daily for killing baby Quaggan, Liz? Is that part of the dailies? No?
Yes.
Maybe when you can choose your own daily achievement.
Ooh. I may do dailies.
It's one of the new guild quest designs that guilds can start off. It is in my guild anyway.
Scott, you had something before the Richie?
I was just going to say, if you just say like a Claw of Jormag, you're gonna get the healer daily easy. You're gonna get dodge easy if you know what you're doing. And even if you don't, when it's finished, there's loads of ice worms about. And if you do a backwards, especially backwards dodge when they're throwing a boulder at you, you get 2 dodges every time. You're gonna get, just doing that event without trying, you're gonna get half of the daily sometimes alone.
Yeah,
So
and
it's just not. You've not got to go out of your way. But what it does do is it gives you something with a short-term goal that leads you into other content. So I'm going to areas now and doing my completion while I'm doing those dailies, and it gives me a short-term focus. And I'm actually doing like much more map completion. I'm much more involved. I'm actually going to play more often because I know I can feel an achievement within 30 to 45 minutes of getting something done, which perhaps I didn't before they were there. So it makes that 30 to 45 minutes feel more productive than it did previously, which means I'm actually playing more. So, it's really good.
Liz, you had something?
Yeah, so Scott was mentioning the Claw of Jormag, and if you actually do the precursor events for that, you get like 4 events out of one stretch between Crystal, Jormag. And so, like, it's so easy to, like, it's not an onerous thing at all.
All right, well, mark your calendars, kiddies. Flamin' Frost, February 26th, going to be patching. Is that a normal patch day? What is that? What does the 26th land on?
That is a Tuesday.
So
That's kind of what I figured. No, that's a normal day, right?
Yep.
Normal day. Same music comes out as well. Just didn't know.
And the last patch was Monday, though. That was interesting.
Was so
All right, mark
different.
your calendars, mark your calendars, mark your calendars. All right, so let's see if Colin Johanson is a Brohanson or just a regular Joe Hansen. So, a little retrospect. Gotta kind of fill everybody in. You maybe missed of the past few weeks. First up, we all remember we were expecting an expansion size update, January, February, right? Remember that, Liz? You remember that, right? They weren't my words. They weren't
his words either. He said technically expansion's worth of. If I say I got a week's worth of sleep over the past month, I wouldn't say that I slept for a week straight. Critical consumption of media, I'm telling you.
That confused me.
No, but seriously, none of us ever believed that was really going to happen. It sounded like it kind of was a bit insane. So we weren't too surprised when they kind of, went back and clarified a little bit more and explained it and talked about, we'd see a lot of the features and systems that we'd see like in an expansion, which I think we're all happy with. The January update was a little bit light on content, but we're seeing a lot of big improvements across the board. And I don't know, actually, how are you? We were talking about dailies. Are you guys doing all your dailies? What has it been? It's been a week since this started. Are you guys on top of that?
I missed it once.
Is it a week?
I missed. Yeah,
I
I missed last night. Unfortunately,
I missed a couple of days to start with, but I think I've got my first. I bought my first the boxes, the kit boxes, gear boxes today. So that's nice.
Tell us
What'd
how
you
that
get in it?
experience went.
yeah. What'd you
That's
get?
great. I got Dusk.
No, you did not.
The Twilight. No, I didn't.
Challenge.
I would have logged in right now
and
and bought one of those boxes.
Seriously.
I got 2 rare tridents.
Aquaman.
we know.
It was even the same level, exactly the same stats as the one I'd already got.
Good
So I was
for
like,
you.
Oh well, there's an Ecto.
It was a week's worth
Thank
of
God for
dailies.
that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
good news is we got WvW updates on the way. Bad news, they're delayed. Here's what Colin had to say. He said, because of how broad the WvW, actually I should, because of how broad the WvW game type is and how large testing for features for this area of the game can be, we're going to hold off on any major WvW update until March to allow for a bit more time to test and polish. So a little bit of a bummer. Gotta wait till March, but I don't know. Maybe the takeaway from this is that they got to give the old Bro Hansen maybe a shorter leash, maybe a cage. Give the keys to the PR department. Kind of keep them in there.
It's funny. All those misspeaking happened kind of at the same time, the same kind of interview in December. So he just got really excited that day and basically told us all these pipelines that were in place. But these things happen. Game companies change their pipeline all the time, and obviously if they don't feel it's going to be ready, then they shouldn't put it in. So it's you can't fault them for changing things up. I think they're going to be a little more tight-lipped going forward about exact release schedules.
And also, you go, right, in most games, you go, right, it's not going to be in this patch. So you go, great, I'm not going to see it for another 6 months. Or 6 months. It's delayed by 4 or 5 weeks.
Right.
It's not the biggest jump off a cliff disaster ever. I have seen a few people get a bit aerated today about.
Oh wait, I don't have to subscribe.
It's not going to be in February. That's it. I'm cancelling.
I'm uninstalling my icon.
I'm going to have to go into the start menu to get to the game now.
Yeah,
That's what
I'm just removing
saying.
my shortcut.
Yeah.
No more taskbar for you.
That'll show him.
Better late than never. So delayed a few weeks. I'm sure it would all be better for the little kind of delay that we have to go through. He also had this to say. He said, March will see the release of WvW Progression system. New ranks you can earn in WvW, visible to all players, and new WvW specific abilities and bonuses that you can earn as you rank up. I think the bro
Very
Hansen's
confusing.
I think he's trolling us. He literally used WvW, WvW, and WvW in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Monty.
Yep.
I think he's being accepting of all types. There is no wrong way to say world versus world. Is what I think the real message is. World versus world is in your
reaching
heart.
across all boundaries.
Everyone is welcome to
The olive branch.
It
The
is.
olive branch.
The little white flag.
Equal opportunist. The Bro Hansen man is definitely not racialist. Make
think
up
he
your
was-
mind, Bro Hansen. It's one. I'll give you the answer. WvW.
It's not woof woof, I know that. It's not pronounced
It's
by
definitely
Charlie
not woof
Brown's
woof.
teacher. I know that.
Womp womp.
That was pretty funny. Using all three of them in that sentence was pretty funny. Yeah. The chat room blew up and our forums went. People were like, "Oh my god, you see that?" And for what's coming, I mean, now so we got some stuff in March. It's all stuff we were expecting. He also mentions some other systems that are still being worked on for WWs, culling, short-term goals, progression, incentives, and just overall general polish. Again, all great stuff that we've been vaguely, not so vaguely, culling, aware of for a while now. Let's go around the room. I'm going to ask us, start with Scott Hawks. Is Colin a Johanson this week or a Bro Hansen this week?
Are we talking Scarlet or are we talking? It depends on where you're going with the Johansen or the Brohans. I think he's a Brohansen. I'm happy.
He's a bro. You're happy. He's a Bro Hansen this week?
I'm happy, yeah, Brohansen.
Elizabeth?
He is whatever he prefers to be called.
Oh, wow. Really? Really? You're not going to play the game with us?
Nope. I also am accepting of all people, whether they are Bro Hansons or Joe Hansons. Or say Wovwa or WW.
He's a wub wub Hansen.
Yigi.
Richie?
I'll go Bro Hansen.
All right, good. I'll go Bro Hansen. No, I'll just go Joe Hansen just to be different.
Ooh.
You
were the type. You
contrarian.
could have
Rebel.
been. Yeah. Well, you didn't want to even vote. You didn't even want to play the game.
All right, he's a Bro Hanson. Whatever.
I'm not gonna fault a man for getting excited about his game and spilling more information than he should.
Yeah, that's actually something I want to encourage from the devs.
I want to encourage more
The
information.
more they want to
spillage.
talk to us, the happier I am.
Have more coffee. Probably had an extra cup of coffee that day and got all excited. It's like Scott Hawks when he has that evil look in his eye.
Yes, that one.
Let's talk about the NCSoft quarter four earnings report. But first, I want to tell you about Netflix. Have you guys checked out Netflix? If you have not, I've got a free 30-day trial with your name on it. All you got to do is go over to netflix.com/Gamebreaker TV. Has anybody checked out House of Cards yet? House of Cards getting amazing reviews. This is really interesting. Netflix original content. Netflix has produced this and created this just for Netflix with Kevin Spacey, and it's getting awesome reviews. It's not like
and I'm going to say right now, you should sign up for Netflix for this reason alone. They're bringing back Arrested Development.
Oh, really?
Okay, we're going to have more Arrested Development because of Netflix.
Really?
So
They're actually they've picked up the property and they're funding. Yeah. Oh wow!
No,
that's
we've got
interesting.
13. No, we've got 13 episodes coming in May. It's shot. Never mind, they're bringing it back. There's a full season, and it's going to go to a film after. So Netflix, there you go. We like those.
There you go. Arrested Development, House of Cards. This is getting really interesting now that they're getting into content creation. It's getting really interesting. If you guys have not checked out, this is their streaming service. You stream any of this content to your iPad, your iPhone, Xbox, Apple TV. Maybe you got one of those TVs with the built-in apps. I'm sure it's got a Netflix app, Roku, all of those things. And if you haven't signed up, all you got to do is go to use that URL. Just use netflix.com, do /Gamebreaker TV, use that URL, sign up. Really simple. Takes a couple minutes. You get a free 30-day trial. You get to check it out for free for 30 days. They don't charge you a dime. If you like it, you keep it. I think it's like $8 a month after that. If you don't like it, cancel it before the 30 days are up and you won't be charged a penny. So check it out. Go over today. Netflix.com/Gamebreaker TV. All right, let's talk a little bit about the quarter four 2012 earnings report. Looking good for the Guild Wars 2. Before we get into this, if any of you guys check this out, can I just say what the hell? Lineage 1? Not even
Yeah, that was
2.
a little crazy.
So if you guys don't know, Lineage 1, It was a game that was released in 1998. It's been canceled here, I believe. I don't even know if you can play it.
Yes.
It's not around in North America.
There's no North America server. Record-breaking annual revenue for Lineage 1. A lot of people were, what this is? Lineage 1, I think in Asia is like their World of Warcraft. Like it's not gonna die. And
it's pretty close, yeah.
WoW is like 10 years old. This is 15, and I'm sure WoW will be around in another 5 years. But holy crap! Guild Wars 2 accounted for 45% of the company's Q4 sales. Lineage 2 came in at a close Lineage. I keep saying Lineage 2. No, Lineage, the first one, came in at a second at 24%. That's crazy. Good for you.
It is pretty crazy.
I don't know if it's crazy or sad. Part of me is slightly sad because I'm just like, really? Like,
it's like, can't you move on? Are you really still?
And you're really not finding anything that's a little more modern? No.
And Lineage 2, it is not doing well at all.
No, even over there, Lineage 1 really stuck with people. So anyway, NCSoft's earnings are up quarter to quarter and year to year with the releases of Guild Wars 2, Blade and Soul, and apparently some game called Lineage. Like I said, Guild Wars 2 accounted for 45% of the company's Q4 sales. Lineage at a close second, or a distant second, I should say, with 24%. Maybe we should start a Lineage show. You guys down? You think we have an audience for that?
Yeah.
With no North American server?
I've just got to learn Korean and get a client.
That's what I was like, you're doing this at like 3 a.m. or what?
How about we use Babelfish? Wasn't that what was that? Was it Babelfish? What was that site? What was that site you could translate?
Yeah,
Babelfish.
Hitchhikers, yes.
We'll just type everything into Google Translate and have it read through our sound.
Kamsahamnida.
Pictures of vomit is universal anyway, so they'll understand.
But really positive signs for Guild Wars 2. Got some really positive sign. I don't think anyone's too surprised. Great game, no sub. Word of mouth still fantastic. People are still enjoying the game. Lots of people still playing it. Obviously, the game's going to continue. Now we're waiting for expansions. I'm sure paid expansions are going to be a huge part of their business plan going into 2013 for the next earnings call. I don't know. I don't see Guild Wars 2 slowing down whatsoever. I mean, it really seems like they've got really sustainable growth for into 2013, and now with the talks of expansion coming. The other thing too is like a lot of MMOs they have that launch phase hype, and then they lose it a little bit on expansions. I gotta say, I don't think that's gonna happen with the Guild Wars 2. I think it's gonna be hyped beyond belief. And I think one of the things I think the key reasons is that we talked about a few weeks ago when Colin, I think it was Bro Hansen, talked about how they need to keep innovating the game and changing it. And I think that's where I was having a conversation with somebody about, even the popularity and why Mists of Pandaria does, or even the Blizzard expansions seem to do so well. And it's like, part of it is they keep like evolving the game. Like even like they just change like radical things. And I think that's really important. A lot of the other companies they go, this is what our game does. And here's more monsters to kill, but nothing changes. I think we're going to see some big changes over the long haul of Guild Wars 2 as it evolves.
Well, that's what he said. I mean, he said that the main thing that they're about is innovation, and they want to basically build the next generation MMO within Guild Wars 2. So what they don't want is to be the type of company that makes a feature set, and then as it goes along adds more terrain and characters that adhere to that same feature set. They want to create new ones that evolve constantly. And I mean, I know it's anecdotal, but for me personally, I was just saying to the guys earlier, I play the game now more than I did probably since just after launch, because I feel I've got more to do and more bringing me back to play. And that's going to keep on adding with the WvW progression. They're doing that with structured PvP. So I know we talked about the expansion content. We're not getting new maps. When you actually look at the content streams that they're bringing in, you've got quite a bit of PvE content coming in things to just do on your own now. Plus, then you've got the guild stuff coming in. Then you've got structured PvP is going to be changing quite a bit, even though it's not going to be quite where the real esports fanatics want it to be in the next couple of months. And then you've got all the WvW stuff coming in. So their PvE, PvP, and WvW is getting pretty much big additions to it within these next 3 months. So, yes, it's not an expansion, but those sort of things you would expect to see in an expansion, not in a monthly update.
How do you all feel? How do you all feel about big sweeping changes, though? I'm curious to know, because this comes up all the time with other ones. Like I said, so I've got some people who go like they hate that, like, you know, when the big bad Blizzard will just like change like an entire system. And I know some people who are like, I hate that. I got to learn the whole game over. But it seems to really be working for them. And I almost wonder if that's part of like their whole system of releasing an expansion, is like changing not just, hey, here's more pixels, here's more mobs, you need that exploration stuff. Like you need more of the story and more content, but also like they create this real intrigue for a lot of people going like, wow, I got to like relearn the game and try and check this out. Are you guys fans of them maybe changing like big portions of how the game works?
I think that's actually why I keep getting addicted to MMOs, is because I'm playing a game that I can get into, and I always love looking forward to what are they going to change, what are they going to add, what's going to be next. It evolves over time. You know, a single player game, you know, you can beat it, and you know, and they'll put out a DLC here and there. But I love the evolution of the game, and I like being on that journey. So for the most part, I mean, I don't love every change, obviously, but for the most part, I think that's a big part of why I stick to a game for a long haul. I want to see it evolve over time, and I can think back, oh, I remember when this worked a different way, and it's just fun to be a part of that ride. And the funny thing is, I remember the very first, you know, when I played World of Warcraft, when Burning Crusade came out, and you know, and they changed some things. They changed, you know, they added new tanks. You know, suddenly paladins and druids can tank, and like all your gear reset. Like all that hard-earned loot from, you know, your raiding experience was all of a sudden garbage. And I remember thinking at the time, like, what are they thinking? This is like the worst thing ever. Why would everything reset just because an expansion came out? And then it just kind of dawned on me, oh, now the whole game's fun again. Yeah. So it really does work.
What do you think, Liz?
Yeah, I think that change over time or change suddenly after a long time is part of what keeps MMOs fresh and kind of gives people something to come back to. Oh, they changed that system. I wonder how it works now. Maybe I like it better, whatever. So I think it's an important part of the evolution of an MMO and part of why they can stay so interesting for as long as they do.
Did they do a lot of that in Guild Wars 1? Did they do any major big sweeping changes on systems and skills and like how things kind of worked and resets and things like that?
They added new professions, and since it was a dual profession system where anyone could pick a secondary, it like changed everything every time they put out. Everything. So they put out 3 campaigns, and what do they add? 2 new professions each time, right? Yeah. So then suddenly, just exponentially, the builds on the characters were just crazy. The amount of new skills that would add to the game, and that you could make on any of your existing characters you can add to. So in that way, they did. I don't know if it's. I don't know if it evolved things more than that.
Well, that sounds pretty big. I mean, you mentioned that, and Liz just went, "Oh my!" Like she had a flashback, and she was just like, "Oh my god!" It changed everything.
I mean, like after Nightfall came out, you couldn't be in a town without seeing everybody was either dervish something or something dervish. Like it was such a meta part of the game for as long as it was brand new. Another thing they did is that they were really deliberate, especially later on down the road, about pretty significant overhauls to how professions worked. Like dervishes, a year or 2 ago, got a really big overhaul about how they worked and their flash enchantments and stuff like that. And Elementalists got the same thing not too long before launch to make them more like an entirely different brand of Elementalists. So it's something that they've done before as far as changing systems and changing up the way characters play significantly. So yeah, it's not something I think they're afraid to do if it helps the game.
All right, a few smallish things popped up during the week that are worth mentioning. Rangers haven't been having too good of a time this week with the Laurel boxes.
So sad.
So sad. So the unlucky folks who already opened them and had a chance of receiving weapons not suitable for their class. ArenaNet's got a temporary solution where while they're fixing the issue, their fix for now is to stop you from opening them. So they're still available to purchase. Yeah, at least they're locking it down. I mean, it's something. What do you guys, I mean, it's a little bit of a sucky situation, mainly for the people who got the wrong gear. What do you think? Has ArenaNet said anything about what they're going to do to compensate possibly people? Would you expect them to compensate people who already opened them?
in the thread that I saw, I didn't see any mention of that. They just said, "Hey, we're making sure no one else falls into this boat."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't buy any yet.
Please
don't buy any
don't
more
open
yet.
anymore.
Open them.
Yeah. So I don't know. They might be
Are they
working on
that
something
butthurt?
and
I
just
mean,
didn't want to
ecto-
say something.
I mean, with ectoplasms, are they that butthurt? I mean, they did spend 5 laurels on a box, gave him like 1 or 2 pieces of useless gear, but hopefully, I mean,
It stinks. It's 5 days of doing the dailies down the drain, and it's not great. But at the end of the day, Scott bought a box that didn't bug out on him, and he's got the same ecto as these people do. So
Yeah,
I mean,
one.
it's
One
one.
ecto.
So
That's what
sad.
I've got. For 5 laurels, I've got 1 ecto.
That's one actor you didn't have before.
You're absolutely right. I'm delighted.
Liz is just the
Yeah.
optimist this episode. She's just all about accepting and looking at the bright side and the sun and
What I do.
rainbows and unicorns. Not Scott. He's a grumpy old.
I'm a bitter git.
He's a hateful man. Mandatory password changes coming February 7th. For losers who haven't changed their password in 3 months.
Do you still get that little notification?
Every time, man. Every time. I haven't changed it. Little red banner at launch. Click right through. I'm terrible, yes. But just you guys may want to change your password. But it's coming mandatory by February 7th, so you should do that.
Yeah. I actually didn't change till last week, so I was getting that too.
I
So
changed
I'm
like as
saying-
soon as they said that, hey, if you do it now, you don't have to, but we're going to make it mandatory. And I was like, all right, might as
Oh,
well.
and you do all your homework on time too, don't you? All right,
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah,
Well, it just,
it's like a daily. All right, so finally, ArenaNet do plan on adding more stat combos to his existing Ascended items. This has been a complaint pretty much since Ascended items were added. People just couldn't get all the stat combos that they wanted. It seems like such an easy fix for ArenaNet. Is anyone surprised at all that they actually went live like this without it?
I kind of feel like there's a reason they did it, and I just don't know what it is. Because I mean, this problem directly affects me because my character's build is all built around having cleric's gear, right? I'm a support warrior and a shout healer, and I need healing power on my gear. And right now, there's no cleric's equivalent in the Ascended gear, so I'm grinding out all these laurels for the hope of one day they're adding cleric's Ascended gear. So I don't know. It just seems odd that the core stat combinations wouldn't be included unless they had some really specific reason for doing so. I just can't think of what that might be.
Any theories?
Yeah.
Any theories from anyone?
not really. I mean, if Ascended had been the same strength and same stats as normal gear and just had space for an infusion slot, it'd be like, oh, they're giving us, different options and you have to wait. But since they're better stats, however, slightly, well, no, you should make the things that all the builds so far have been built around available, like you would just think. And it's created a really interesting situation for people as you get this Ascended drop and you're like, all right, this is great because it's going to give me agony resistance, but I hate these stats. Do I keep it because agony resistance is good? Do I hope I get something else sometime? What do I do?
Well,
Yeah,
good news is they're adding them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say there might be something to kind of lost my train of thought there. I was gonna say they said something about maybe they didn't want to make it a direct upgrade to the exotic level, right? Maybe they didn't want everything to be parallel like that, so it feels a little bit more side grady for some specs. I don't know.
Smell something?
The
That's,
problem is there is a direct upgrade for anybody who does.
that
have
sounds a
those,
little specious.
is the problem. Like if you are focused on the stats that are on the Ascended gear, that is a direct upgrade for you.
That's
it's just
true.
tough luck for everybody else.
Yeah.
So, if you can't think of any reason that's a good reason, good chance it's because there isn't there's just not a good reason why it's not there for everybody. But it's getting fixed, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some viewer questions really quick. I want to tell you guys on Friday we're doing mark your calendars, League of Legends fans. We're doing something different. We're going to try something on February 8th at 5 PST. Tune in live to Gamebreaker.tv for our first community casting match. We got a community, we got casting and free beer. Not really free beer, it's bring your own. But Mr. Sean, Mr. Sean Delaney, I know, from OMG LOL. He's going to be shoutcasting the whole thing. You guys come over. It's going to be some prizes. It's a community match, so if you guys are League of Legends players, you're going to come and he's going to throw out the password, the first 10 people to jump in the match, and you get to play. That's how easy it is to get in. And then he's going to shoutcast it, and then the audience can vote on the MVP, and we're going to give away some riot points and some stuff. We'll see how it goes.
Can I play Ash?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, let's do some viewer questions. If you guys have questions for the GuildCast crew, send them over to submit@gamebreaker.tv. Or also keep an eye on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/gamebreakertv. We ask for questions there as well. First up this week from Diedrich Puchel. Says, do you think we might ever see the Awakened, the mummies from the Desolation, become a playable race once we go to Ilona? It would be boring to have yet another undead race as a major enemy, so why not play and cooperate with Awakened rebels to take down Palawa Yoko? I have no idea. I've it's like speaking Japanese right now to me. All right, who's the lore
That was
master
pretty
of lore?
close.
I'm going to say it's Liz.
Hi. So I don't really think that we're going to be playing as Awakened to take down Palawa Joko. I mean, first of all, I'm still not convinced we're actually going to go back to Ilona as much as I would like to. I'm not convinced that we are yet. So that's way, way down the road anyway. And I was going to say that, they were such a staunch enemy beforehand that I can't see, but then, there was the Char and that whole thing. I just don't see how that would work at all. Also, like, how do you make new undead? Like, I don't, it could happen, I just don't see how it would at all.
Yeah, I think there's a good point in that we were fighting Zaitan right now. There's a lot of Risen. There's a lot of undead. And if they do suddenly go to Ilona and you're trying to take down Palawa Joko and all of his undead minions, it's kind of like, all right, we're kind of sick of this. So, I mean, he brings up a good point. That's why I think Liz is probably right. We're probably not going to Ilona anytime soon. We're talking years down the line. So, yeah.
Scott,
But I don't think it would be a playable race. I don't think it would be a playable race.
Does Scott know anything about Joko Ono?
Yeah, she broke up the Beatles. I think that's right. I think we need a break from the undead for a bit.
Yeah.
Really need an break for dead, and the only reason, what's going to be? Oh, the mummies. So they've got bandages wrapped around instead this time, and you can walk around in a friendly way, going, "What's that smell?" Let's have a break from undead after Ore because we need it.
We clearly need to go to Cantha and fight bureaucrats.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the next step
get
for us.
behind that. Seriously.
All right, next up, this one from Eric Taylor. Eric says, given what you know now about personal story and class changes, would you have rolled a different class race combo as your main at launch? Let's start with Scott.
No.
Good. Next, go with Richie.
I'm definitely gonna say no. I'm really lucky. I picked the one that I really wanted. I love the warrior, and the warrior, has not had a lot of the class balance problems that some of the other classes have, and there haven't been any big sweeping changes that have pissed me off. So I'm happy with the Norn warrior. So I'm gonna stick to it.
Any regrets, Liz?
I'm a couple days away from having my 4th level 80, and despite the fact that there are only 8 professions in the game, I still have 7 more characters I want to get to 80. So I don't think any combination changes have put me off. I love all my characters so far, and I'm going to love the next 7, and probably 3 or 4 after that, because I'm an alcoholic.
Wait, I gotta ask.
I have double warriors.
Once you have one of every profession, why is there more? I don't get that.
Because I want to play other story choices, and because so if I spec my warrior for one thing, I want to have a different warrior who's greatsword rather than shield, and it's also about the cultural armors because the Norn heavy and medium armors are so wonderful that I need them. And my first Asura is not my favorite because she's a ranger, and I actually don't really like rangers all that much. And so I needed to make more Asuras so that I had an Asura I liked. So it's a problem.
You have a spreadsheet mapping all this out. Don't you?
I was making charts the other day. I was like, okay, I'm going to reroll these 3 characters, and I'm going to do this with them. And it was.
I want to see this. You have to show it to me.
Buried somewhere. I'll pick it out later. I have a sickness.
Last up this week from Asa Malmberg. Have you heard anything regarding guild management in future updates, like being able to see when a member was last online, or give permission on specific tasks like activating banners, but not other bonuses, or just message of the day showing in G-Chat when you log in? Anyone?
Interestingly, 2 of those things were available in Guild Wars. Seeing when someone was last online and getting your guild message when you logged in were both things that happened in Guild Wars, so I'm not really sure why they didn't make the switch. I would really...
It's probably for people who are hiding from your guild in other guilds to stop them being picked up and saying, wait a minute, they haven't been on in 3 weeks when they were on yesterday. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So, no, haven't heard anything. I don't think anybody's heard anything. They're being kind of quiet on some of these features, so who knows? Maybe...
Those are good ideas.
They are all
I'd really
good
like
ideas.
to enable people to do banners and stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, a little bit more guild management tools would be nice. Richie Procopio, follow him on the Twitter at Richie Procopio. Go over to his YouTube channel, Bog Otter. And of course, come over to Gamebreaker.tv and check out all his Guild Wars 2 coverage right here on Gamebreaker.tv. Elizabeth Claire, follow her on the Twitter at Elizabeth Claire with an X. Go over to massively.com and read all her Guild Wars 2 and other coverage over there. And EIC, Mr. Editor-in-Chief of the ZAM Network, Mr. Scott Hawks. Follow him on Twitter at Jaramore. And of course, go over to ZAM.com, Wowhead, Guildhead, all that good stuff. Lol King. You guys got too many sites. I can't plug them all, bro. These guys got like 2 things. They got YouTube, Massively, and then you got like 17 things.
DaisyDB.
Yeah, sure. Whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter, Gary Gann, and follow Gamebreaker TV at Gamebreaker TV. And don't forget our LOL thing on Friday. That'll be fun. Come hang out for that. We'll see how that goes. And have a great week. We do the show live on Wednesdays at 6 PST, so come on over and hang out for the live show. It's a fun time. Hang out with the chat room. We'll see y'all next week.